Hello, awakened creators. Welcome to this day. Welcome to this beautiful day. I have a special message to bring forward to you today. My guides wanted to offer a longer audio message on this new moon in Capricorn day. My first message that wants to come through today is to address any discomfort that any of you are feeling in your lives right now. The discomfort of old things coming to the surface, the discomfort of situations that feel beyond your control confronting you at this time. And Spirit is asking us to remember the messages from January that were provided that were talking about a reconfiguration. This is part of that experience of reconfiguration, in which energetically we are being pushed and pulled, compressed and twisted through a portal, through a energetic sieve, kind of, if you can think of when you are in the kitchen and you have a colander and you want certain things but you want to flush the water, you pour it into this colander or this sieve, and some things fall through and other things catch and hold. That is the experience that energetically is similar to what we are moving through at this time. And so Spirit just once again wants to remind you not to fear the falling away, not to fear what is leaving your life, not to fear the experience of these things leaving your life, because they are no longer needed for your growth. They are the last holdouts of the deep lessons of the previous portion of your lifetime, and allowing for these things to say goodbye, to finally have their primal scream moment before they flush away is necessary, but it can be very uncomfortable. And so as we are being stretched and squeezed and having, our souls kind of wrung out, and this energy dripped off of us and out of us, it can be very uncomfortable. And so we are called to double down on compassion, mercy, nurturing, love, self-care, all of these things needed in order to shelter yourself through this experience. So allow yourself to have a moment, a day, however long you need, to tuck in and give yourself the love that your soul really needs, the soothing your soul really needs in order to move through these wormholes, they're calling them. So as we're moving through this reconfiguration process, so in the January messages, the reconfiguration was really discussed more on a global scale, although it was mentioned that you might experience some things on a individual scale. So now we're just talking about it very much so more on the individual scale and how you might be experiencing it on an individual scale. And that can be more disturbing a lot of times than on the global scale, because global issues don't always feel like they affect us directly, but when it's in our family or it's in our life or it's something going on emotionally within ourselves, we definitely feel it. So allow yourself to hermit. I'm hearing literally allow yourself to hermit, allow yourself to go within, allow yourself to shelter in these times until you feel like the energy is cleared and it's safe for you to reemerge. And that can take a couple days. Like don't put a time limit on it. Don't say it has to be done in an hour. Like if you force yourself to get over it, to hurry up and move through the energies, it will be more painful, because there's no, you must move through these wormholes. You just have to. Your energies have to go through this. And if you resist it, as if like you were experiencing psychedelic drugs and you try to resist the experience, it gets more painful. It is like that. Some of you might resonate more with that example and understand than what's being told here. So relax. Allow yourself to move through this experience. Just nurture yourself as best as you can. And to receiving the message to lighten up a little bit, not trying to take everything so seriously. If there's an area where you feel like you might be taking something too hard, or you might be making a bigger deal out of something than need be, go ahead and see if you can stretch yourself to lighten up about it, to laugh at it, to shrug your shoulders at it and say fuck it, or oh well, or just allow it to kind of not be so heavy. And that can feel really good as well, to sort of just make light of it, laugh at it. The image of the monster in Harry Potter that assumes the role of your greatest fears, and what is the spell is ridiculous. It is to create a humorous version of that thing, to turn it into something you can laugh at. And that levity truly lifts the energy, lightens the heaviness. It magically transforms the density. That's a great example of alchemy in action, even though, you know, it's from a book and a movie. So good lessons to be learned all around. My other message for this new moon and the energetics shifting on the planet right now is everybody's favorite word to hate: patience. But we do need and are called to cultivate patience with the process. And not just patience with the process in that we give ourselves grace, we allow ourselves to be still learning, but a patience that extends into enjoyment. Okay, that can be very challenging for some people. How do we move towards enjoying making mistakes, enjoying not knowing what we're doing, enjoying being at a level beneath our own expectations? The enjoyment of the process comes from the appreciation of the process. So in order for us to appreciate a process, we get to be really present for every stitch, as if you were baking a cake. Yes, the finished product, the beautiful cake, is delicious. We want to get to the end. We want to have that cake. We want to experience it. But if someone was to come into your kitchen and say, oh, you can skip all the process of making the cake and you can just have this cake, it would taste good, but it doesn't quite feel as good as sitting there, gathering ingredients. Maybe you're baking with a friend or your child, laughing, having conversation, smelling all the different ingredients going in the bowl, licking the whisk, experiencing every stage of the process, including, the putting it into the oven and then waiting. What do you do while you wait? Maybe you play a game, maybe you go for a walk, maybe you relax on the couch, and you let the whole experience and every stage of it be enjoyable and be present in every stage. That's how patience becomes enjoyable, when we're present. So as uncomfortable as it can be sometimes to be at a certain stage on your creative journey, in your relationships with others, we ask that you exercise as much presence as possible. Your power exists in the now moment. Your power exists right where you are. That is where you can access peace. That is where you can access love. That is where you can access calm. It is all in the present because it is what is. And when we try to run from what is, or we try to push ourselves away from it by either clinging on behind us or rushing ahead of ourselves, we can trip, we can fall, we can feel pulled and exhausted, and begrudgingly dragged forward. So we're asked to get as present as possible at this time. We know it's hard. It takes practice. Meditation will help you, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Learning to sit still, learning to be in a moment and observe that moment without any judgment, and observe your thoughts without any judgment. And practicing this every day will help you be more present overall. It will give you the tools needed to know how to become present. Breath is key. So breathe. Become present with where you are at in your process of life, in your creative journey, in your relationships with others. And whatever it is that you're doing, become present in that very moment. Find something to appreciate in that moment. Where are you at in the process? What can you appreciate? Can you appreciate the gathering of your paint colors? Can you appreciate the pause in a conversation? Can you appreciate the walk that you're on, the smell in the air? Can you appreciate a child who really wants to establish their sense of control? That's for those parents out there. Can you come present in a moment of conflict and find something to appreciate? It's very challenging, but it's good practice. It's good practice. So presence will bring you into appreciation, which will allow you to be more patient with your process. They also want to remind us, and I believe this came through in the Capricorn season messages, that the majority of the hard work that you've been doing emotionally and, letting go of past patterns and cycles is done. It really is done. So allow yourself to continue being proud of the progress that you've made, even when faced with situations that are involved in this reconfiguration process. So the reconfiguration is really you energetically getting reconfigured. You're being reconstructed. Your energy body is being updated and changed. And it can be really uncomfortable because when we shine a light in a dark spot, or say like lift a rock, we see all the creepy crawlies, right? And the creepy crawlies aren't used to the light. They don't like it. They scurry around and it can be kind of gross. So here we are having our creepy crawlies have light shine on them as we move into this brighter and brighter space. And it can be uncomfortable, right, to have that experience. But to remember though, that a great majority of the work that you needed to do or came to do or wanted to do as a soul on this planet is finished. That it's completed in the fact that you've learned the lessons and now you're in a place to really implement the lessons learned. So what you gleaned from those lessons, the skills you've developed, the insight, the wisdom, now in this new phase, you are asked to apply what you've learned. So first you go through the experience of shedding it so you can learn what went wrong, why did that happen, oh, what's my mindset is incorrect, or I've been thinking about it all wrong, and I've been believing incorrectly and out of alignment, or I've been giving more of my power away. And like you learn all of these things, you become aware of them. That's learning when your awareness expands. And now that you've done a lot of awareness expansion, a lot of awareness expansion, you should be very proud of yourself. Now we're shifting into apply what you've learned. I'm going to give you similar scenarios to what you experienced in the past. Similar, they might be same, they might be different, they might be tweaked a little bit, but they're going to feel somewhat similar. Maybe to a lesser degree, but they're going to feel somewhat similar, and you're going to have a chance, an opportunity to apply what you've learned. Apply what you've learned. Apply what you've learned. Grab that mindset you learned. Grab that belief structure you learned. Grab those boundaries that you learned. Apply them. Apply them. Apply them. See what happens. See how it functions in this new experience. We may have some tweaks to make still, and that's okay. This is the next phase of the process, is applying. Mastery comes when you continuously move towards applying what you've learned, applying what you've learned, applying what you've learned until you're so good at it. You have all these skills developed that it is seemingly effortless for you to handle life, but that takes time. You don't get to mastery overnight. You don't get to mastery through a wormhole. The wormhole is only there to help. It is there to help. It doesn't feel like it, I know, but it's there to help wring you out. It's there to help squeeze and condense your energy and stretch you and wring out any old stuff like a sieve, sift it out, and then bring you out to the other side where you can, again, start applying what you've learned, applying what you've learned, applying what you've learned. So just keep going. Keep going and keep allowing yourself to be patient and gracious and compassionate towards yourself, because you are doing a lot of energetic work right now. It's a lot. This message feels complete. I hope that it has helped serve you and guide you through the challenges you might be experiencing right now, and also to affirm the steps that you have been taking, that you are moving in the right direction, that you are growing. There's nothing wrong with you. You have not failed in any kind of way. I know that can be difficult to hear, especially in times of great struggle, but just know that Awakened Creators is here for you. We love you. We are guiding each other home to our hearts, to our creative dreams. This is where you belong. If you resonate with this message, I encourage you to join this community in whatever way feels good to you. Subscribe. You can follow over on Instagram, or you can go to weareawakenedcreators.com and join us there. Thank you so much for being devoted to your art, to your heart, to you. You are changing the world more than you know. I love you. Namaste.